think that's it.
Okay, yeah. So call the meeting to order. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let me begin by apologizing for a late start. I was in line for my first COVID vaccine and they were running about 40 minutes late. So that's the reason, and I apologize. The first order of business is to approve the minutes of January 30th. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes of January 30th.
Second, they were you. So any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that will be unanimous. Jim, can you unmute our guests, please? Since this is an open meeting,
I wonder where I'm mute. It says main hall.
I'm going to go just check and see what the status is. I'll be right back. Can you unmute everybody, please?
I have everybody's self-muted.
Oh, really? The main hall is muted.
Main hall's fine.
Okay.
There's just, you guys can hear it.
Okay.
Can you guys hear it?
Okay.
I can barely.
Okay, so we'll turn it up some.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I've learned that everyone who is attending is self-muted. If you want to unmute and join the meeting, you're more than welcome to. This is an open meeting. The first order of business is the invitation from the Board of Selectmen. The Board of Selectmen developed and sent out an invitation to all boards, committees, commissions, and departments in the town to invite their participation in this. There were 3 ways that they could participate. One is by attending our meetings, which is great, but not as important as the other 2. The second way is to encourage all the members of their departments and commissions to fill out the survey when it comes, and all their friends and neighbors and everything to be proactive, because the more people we have who get involved in this, the better it'll be. And the third way is to write up, and this is something I'd like to develop in our third agenda item, is to write up or give us bullets on what's going on in their departments, what direction they're going in, what challenges lie ahead, that kind of thing, so that we can have that included in the master plan. So then the next item is the visioning survey. Do I comment on that, Edwin? You know that we've contracted and so forth?
Yep, contracted with RPC, Rockingham Planning Commission. I was a little bit of confusion though at the selectmen's meeting. They said that there needed to be 3, which we had 3, correct?
We had 3 bids. We had 2 from
UNH and 1 from, okay.
Rockingham, 1 from Rockingham Planning and 1 from our own survey committee
Yep.
to do it for free, but less professionally from
Yeah.
than Rockingham would have been.
Okay.
So we recommended the midpoint, actually we accepted.
Accepted it, all right. No, there was some confusion, I guess. I was watching and I forgot who it was, but there was some confusion that they didn't get all 3, which we did. I just wanted to make sure we,
We actually had 4.
yeah, well, yeah, sorry, that we had all 4. Just want to make sure that's you know,
Okay, I didn't watch that.
yeah.
Okay, so that will be on our agenda with the draft survey. I've checked with Jen. She'll have the draft survey ready for us at our next meeting in a month.
Perfect.
So that's going to be very exciting.
Yeah.
And she emailed me today and asked if we can get some pictures.
Oh, yes, yep, okay, perfect.
And so I put it on Facebook, and I also got in touch with a professional photographer who lives near me, and she's going to be giving us some pictures of various things for the town to put on the survey. And then, of course, we'll be doing that also, putting them in different places once we do the updates on all the committees and stuff. Have awesome pictures. So, for write-ups and bullets for the town groups. One of the things I thought would be good, and just get your input, is kind of what do you think should be in the write-up, and what kind of length are we looking for? Let's kind of develop a couple of bullets of ideas of what we're looking for from these different committees and commissions and departments.
Well, is it different from the?
Pat, you know what, nobody's going to pick you up unless you stand at the mic, or if you come here and grab a mic and be with us.
Is it on?
Should be.
Is it going to be different from the annual report write-up?
Uh,
Every board or committee writes a blurb. Well, it's about the year, but is that similar?
Similar, but it would be, I mean,
What we're looking for in the future.
yeah, it's longer than the year. It's kind of where are we? So it might be things that happened in the past year, but I would think it would be broader than, you know, kind of a longer term look. We haven't had any write-ups that cover the last 23 years. It's in a master plan.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of looking at, like on recreation, you know, the whole Greenie Park thing. I don't even know if the Greenie Park trails are in the old master plan. But, and then what are you looking for? What are the challenges? What's coming in the future? And that's going to start to shape working on a capital improvement plan.
Yeah. Well, I like what Pat said, that it should be kind of like the town report, but again, longer, more drawn out, more for the future. But I think that's kind of where we should base, you know, when the departments come and they ask, how should we do this? I think that's kind of the way we should, you know, an example should be the town report and kind of just base it off that, but extend it into the future. So I definitely like that kind
Yeah,
of,
that's good. And I also like that from the standpoint of the length of the report.
yeah,
Because one of the things we'd like is something people can actually read and sit down and
yeah.
digest.
Because then those are things we could also, you know, include when we finish everything in the end, we kind of include what the departments wanted and, you know, as well as our plan. So I definitely like that.
Anybody have any thoughts who's online? Want to make a contribution? Bob?
Yeah, I was just going to say maybe it makes sense too to just look at other nearby towns and what they have done over the last few years, just to make sure that we are matching from a format perspective, something that is somewhat standard across the state.
Okay. So you're thinking like a 5-year look, behind, back, and forward? Did I hear you right? It's a little hard to hear. Mark? Did anybody hear him any better?
Not
Guys, can you
really.
hear me now?
Yeah, that's better, a little bit.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, I was in my kitchen and I guess my Wi-Fi doesn't go out there. No, what I was saying was it probably makes sense to look at what other towns have done over the last few years nearby, just as a standard that works well in our state.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that. And also, I mean, one of the things that I think about is that there should be kind of a standing master plan committee after we finish our initial work.
To ensure that it stays kind of up to date. Because, you know, what do we have from when the master plan came out, there was 10 years that an update happened?
Actually, it was 1998, there was a survey.
Yeah.
Then in 99, the master plan was written and
Then
approved.
03, I think there was an
And
update?
then in 2006, there was a vision statement
Yeah,
update.
yeah.
And then 2008, there was a land use. And then we've had,
Then that's it.
yeah,
So yeah, I think definitely there should be a, kind of the subcommittee should still continue on, just to ensure that, you know, we don't have that long length of time and we can kind of start preparing for, you know, the next one.
kind of take
Yeah,
out bits and pieces of it. It wouldn't be as big a job,
of course, no, of course not.
but keep it up to date.
Do you think it would,
Do you want to grab one of the microphones?
Come up here.
Yeah, you want to
no,
grab
no,
one of
that's
these?
okay. Do you think it would be helpful to some of the departments, because I know there's some, with some people, it's harder to write for the annual report. Do you think a format might be helpful? Like maybe, you know, paragraph 1, give your overall vision for the coming years, you know, and then include these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something. Just to guide some of these, committees.
It's great. Okay.
Yeah, that'd probably make it easier for people too, just so, it's sitting there rambling on and writing where we have kind of what a guide should be, so we should definitely work on that.
So you're saying paragraph 1, looking to the future? Or is that, what's on your mind?
Yeah, the lead-off paragraph is the overall kind of thought process or vision. The Recreation Commission hopes to expand events in the coming year and also, upgrade different areas of the town, say. That's, the overall. And then go down into the other paragraphs about, addressing like Country Pond and addressing Greenie Park and, these are hopes. So, but just to give someone an idea, I think for some boards and committees, if you just say, give us a vision statement and write-up, it's not going to be enough guidance.
Okay, I think we need to have a little bit of, kind of here's what's happened recently, or here are recent things, here's what we're looking for in the future.
Right.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? Anybody?
No?
Annie, do you have any other towns, like, what they have done? Like, what theirs looks like? Just to go as a blueprint or something?
We looked at Fremont. That was kind of, I think, the closest one.
And Brentwood.
And Brentwood, yeah.
You could pull out one of their committees and not say the name or anything, but just use their format or something?
Yep. And those are both very recent ones, and so they're modern and very readable and user-friendly, so it's kind of a nice approach,
Yeah.
for what we want to do. Okay, I'll pull together something based on some of these ideas that you guys have come up with, if that's okay, and get it out. Basically, we're looking for those responses from the different boards, committees, commissions, and departments by the April 15th in order to do our thing. Jim, could you put up the calendar, please? Jim, okay, thank you.
Good.
Can't see it very well, but I assume people online can. You have a copy, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we had our first meeting on January 21st. This is the kind of organizational meeting where the invitations are just being sent out. The announcing that the survey is coming is something that we talked about on Election Day, to have some sort of a poster up on Election Day for people who don't vote do vote in person, but also to put something on the town bulletin board,
Yep.
on cable and stuff, just to kind of heads up that this is coming. And then the draft survey, as we said, that we do here to our group on the 18th, and then we can bring it to the planning board and have a public hearing on it on the 23rd, which is the following Tuesday night. Then we can be ready to start distributing the survey over the next 3 weeks, and 3 weeks is kind of considered kind of a standard amount of time to get it out there from everything that I've read. And the various ways that we can do distribution. The department write-ups, as we said, are due back by the 15th. The land use data, which is one of the things that we'll go over, would be also by the 15th, so over the next couple of months, get that together. And then we would be meeting on the 16th again to review all that. Then by the 13th of May, Rockingham Planning will have been able to tabulate all the results and to present them to us, and then we can take them to the planning board. And we also have, we'll be able to, I'm sorry, on the 20th is our meeting, and that would be where we would have our vision and land use chapters ready and our supplemental appendices and so forth ready. So these are kind of target dates, they're not cast in concrete, but if we want to be done and not be planning to have people working over the summer on this thing, then this is kind of a schedule that'll work.
Perfect.
And then we go back to the planning board, because again, the planning board is the one with the authority. So we would present to the planning board and get their input, then have a public hearing a couple weeks later so that we can kind of incorporate the other planning board members and anybody who wants to comment with their input. And then doing rewrites and so forth, come back here, make sure we've got it all done, then go to the planning board again and have a public hearing by the 22nd of June.
Perfect. I think Charlie Melvin's calling.
Does anybody see any problems with that?
Cool, I have a question. So, did the survey results go in the write-up for the committee?
The survey results will probably, from the ones I've seen, it goes into an appendix, but it drives our vision chapter write-up.
Okay, so the committee has the vision statement or write-up
Yep.
before they know what the town wants.
No, the vision statement is after the tabulation.
Oh, okay, so the committee would see what the town input is, and then they'd be able to include that in the vision write-up?
That would drive the vision write-up. It would not be just included. It would be kind of, the vision write-up would be because this is what the town had to say.
Oh, okay. So,
But that's why the survey is so important.
okay.
And we haven't had one in 24 years.
Yeah.
So probably a few new people coming to town.
Now, has RPC kind of looked at the calendar and they believe they can keep up with these dates?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, these are part of the contract. I haven't seen the actual contract, but it was part of the proposal. Was all this. Yeah, good question. Any other questions on this? Any comments?
Well, so the departments are supposed to give the write-ups on the 15th,
Right.
but the survey results aren't till the 13th.
But their write-ups are not about, they aren't writing up the vision statement. Theirs is about their department and their mission.
Okay, so they don't have to address what anyone who filled out the survey is. Okay.
No. No, that's kind of our job, and then ours to take to the planning board, and then the public hearing to give results. Hi, Chief.
Hi, sorry about the delay.
We're so glad to have you here. Thank you. So, you know, and it's a public hearing, and then we go to the planning board, and the planning board finally adopts the vision plan. It isn't up to the departments to do it, but they do put their input into what the overall town vision is going to be as they answer the survey.
Okay.
Chief, this is the proposed calendar. I don't know if you can read it from there. My angle on it is pretty bad. I've got a hard copy here if you want it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can email it, whichever you.
Oh, here, right there are several copies.
What?
Jim was good enough to make those for us. And also an agenda if you want it.
Annie, I have a quick question.
I have a question up there, I
So
think, for
we-
Mark.
Right, who's that?
It's Mark Lavoy. So just a quick question. So we have the item here that says draft survey. So is that when we are starting to draft it, or is that when we're going to be finalizing the draft of it? Because I'm just trying to figure out when are we going to start to brainstorm questions for the survey, if that's going to be March 18th or sooner.
The draft survey is the survey format itself, and Rockingham Planning has a bunch of questions that we've come up with already, that we've given them as kind of beginning, but Jen Rowden, our circuit rider, has been very familiar with different issues and things that have gone on in town, and is planning to come up with the survey that will address a lot of Newton-specific things. So that first draft that they're preparing will come to us on the 18th. And then we'll suggest any modifications or anything on the 18th, between the 18th and the 23rd. And then we take it to the planning board to hear what they have to say and what the public has to say.
Okay, and will we, anyone who's on the master plan committee, are they going to have access to that draft survey prior to March 18th to review it and come up with ideas to bring to that meeting?
Yes, 100%. Yep.
Okay, good, good.
Yep. And I'm happy to forward to anyone who wants it the beginning questions that we came up with, because I'm sure that we can, anybody who wants to be involved in this can certainly give ideas and so forth, and we can get them to Jen to see how she can incorporate them. So the more involvement anybody has and wants to have, I think Mark, you'd probably like to have that. I'll be happy to do it, and anybody else who's interested.
That would be great. Thank you.
Okay, any other thoughts? Or the goal here with this calendar, Chief, we were talking about, is that we'd like to be complete, if we can be, by June 20th. Worst case, we won't be complete, and the plan would be to adjourn until the fall, because I don't think anybody wants to spend their summer working on the master plan. I know I don't.
Nope.
So, okay. All right, so if it's okay, we can move on to new business.
Yeah?
We're fortunate enough to have a couple of representatives here from town groups. We have our fire chief here, and we have Pat Masterson from the rec committee. We certainly want to see people. What do you think as far as, should we seek to contact each one of these to ask them to represent and have appoint one person as kind of a point person to work with us?
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, I'm hoping that it was already sent out. I mean, can we confirm that the Board of Selectmen sent out?
They did.
They did, all right.
Yeah, we see.
All right, perfect. So, I mean, yeah, I think we just reach out, see if we can't get one from a department, then at least, we need something from every department.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Zoom is available, which is a nice option.
One of the things I was thinking is that different ones of us can volunteer to contact the different, let's just use departments for all of them, but to make sure that there is a point person. And, worst case, there's one where absolutely nobody's available ever to do anything, then one of us could go to that meeting and, be there with them to try and elicit the information.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to be as proactive as we need
Yeah.
to be, and I know you are.
Well, we got to get it done.
Yeah. Okay. Then I have one person who said that they absolutely love crunching data, who is Jordan Piper. I don't know if Jordan's here. Is Jordan on the line?
No, I didn't see it, Jordan.
Okay. But he said he would just love to get into crunching some of this 2020 census data. It is available now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we need to look at that. There's New Hampshire Division of Economic Development data. There's New Hampshire Employment Security data, and there may be others. But in order to prepare our land use and come up with, that would all go into appendices, but to figure out kind of what's the profile of our town now. Some of it's going to come from the survey results, and some of it's going to come from just data. So, you know, that's going to be part of what we need to do. We need to think about who's going to do it. So I know one volunteer is willing to work on that.
Perfect.
And, you know, absolutely be willing to hear from other people who,
Yeah.
that might be their cup of tea. You know, I'm willing to work on some of
Yeah.
that.
Perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of it with the budget committee, but it's not budget season, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so basically, and I'm willing to, you know, see if I can see other people who want to be involved in doing that, you know, Facebook stuff, see who might come forward.
Yeah.
I know we have a bunch of really smart people in town, so. But basically, any other comments anybody have? Any comments or suggestions or ideas that aren't covered here? Aren't we efficient?
I take it everybody has the current master plan, correct?
Actually, one of the things that we're seeking is, and I asked the question today, and as you know, I was getting my COVID vaccine, so I haven't checked my latest emails, but I don't know if I got a response on it, but I wanted to see whether the planning board administrative assistant has time available to be able to scan it and to put it online, because it's about yay thick.
Yeah.
And it's not very friendly, but it should be. We're trying to get it online. Edmund has volunteered to come in and do some scanning.
If we can, yeah.
He doesn't have the time during planning board hours, so we just need to kind of work that
Yeah.
schedule out so that it can be online, so everybody can see what we've got. Absolutely. I mean, you're going to have a blast writing about what's going on in the departments in the last 24 years.
Because the only plan that the fire department has seen is the one through the EOC,
Okay?
which, that's the, if the world's ended,
Okay.
who does what?
Right.
Which that one is, they just completed that.
Wow. Wow.
So, just to refresh my mind, what was the
You know
last?
what? Nobody can hear you online.
Sorry.
We can hear you just fine.
Oh, I can hear him.
Now, just to refresh my mind, when was the last time the master plan was touched?
Touched in 2008. That was for the land use portion.
Okay.
The fire department write-up in 1999.
Okie dokie, thank you.
Yeah, it's just sitting on a shelf back in the planning board office. It's, you know, it just needs to get online so people can see it and
Yep.
see. Basically, and we should make sure everybody is aware of this. The planning, the master plan is the basis, the
Of
legal
everything.
basis for all our zoning regulations in town. So, I mean, I was listening to Rockingham Planning Commission. Did you listen?
The one
to that?
yesterday for, that for yesterday, yeah, yeah.
Right, for the review of the, what is it, impact something?
Impact summary of, yeah, regional impact of 125.
Impact study. They were saying, well, you know, you really ought to look at what your master plan says. And I was like, yeah?
Yeah. We don't have one.
Okay. So are there any other comments, folks? If you have anything that you come up with, any ideas that you want to share, anything, if you have suggestions for questions or things that should be included in the survey, if you have, take a look at, as we said, some of those surveys that have been done. You can find some sample surveys, and I can put out I can put out a list of different ones that we're aware of that have come forward. Partly from our bidding process, we're aware of some.
Yeah,
But, you know, anybody is welcome, absolutely, take a look, see if there's something that really strikes you as something that should be included. Email me at ahollier@newtonnh.net, and I'll be very happy to put it together and get it to Jen so that we don't want to bombard her with 50 emails, but I'll be happy to put it together for her so she can have some input.
Yeah.
So very, very welcome to give input.
Annie, would you be so kind as to, I forwarded you my ideas. Would you be so kind as to pass those along to her and see if she can think of ways to, I mean, if it's appropriate for the survey, we can figure that out, or if at least have those ideas considered for inclusion in the master plan.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you.
I just have another question. This master plan, because I'm hearing planning board, it says planning board, this master plan is more for the planning board, it's not the major town master plan like the EOC, correct?
It is the master plan for the town. It's the planning board's purview to create that master plan. That's their job. It's something that they're supposed to do.
Okay, not a problem, because I'm used to either the EOC or the Board of Selectmen to create the master plan for the town.
I don't know where, you mean in
Well, where I'm from,
yeah.
that's all, that's,
Oh, from Mass, that's right.
right, that's why when you keep on saying master plan, I'm thinking this goes hand in hand with the EOC's disaster basically plan.
It does go hand in hand. That should definitely be a part of it.
Okay.
But it is the job, according to the RSAs, of the planning board here in New Hampshire to create a master plan. And it has to be done with public hearings.
Okay,
And the planning board keeps pretty busy with different applications.
Okay.
So the planning board authorized having a steering committee this year with members of the public as well as up to 3 members of the planning board to work on bringing the recommendations to the planning board for the master plan. Then the planning board holds a public hearing, the public weighs in again, and hopefully they weigh in with us also.
okay,
And then it gets, and then the planning board approves it.
okay, all right. Just a little different.
Yeah. Welcome to New Hampshire once again.
Yeah. Not that there's, again, not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just used to working on a master plan with all the department heads. Okay, fire department does fire departments, planning does planning, police does police, highway, highway. And coming, you know what I mean? It's almost like Larry has. So maybe in New Hampshire they call it something different. I would say like the EOC.
But it's still all the departments
Yeah, okay.
giving their input. And that's
Okay.
one of the things we're seeking to do, is to work with all the departments to get that input.
Okay,
Yeah. So,
I got you.
yeah, okay.
probably once I see it, I'll understand it a little better.
Well, I think from what you're describing, the only difference is that it's the planning board versus the board of selectmen.
Correct, it's the Board of Selectmen and and I'm learning that in New Hampshire too, who rules the roofs. I'm used to the selectmen controlling everything. That's all, that's wrong.
Yep.
Excellent idea, by the way, in doing this.
Good. Well, it's something that,
Yeah, that needs to be done.
yeah. Okay, folks, so our next meeting is March 18th, and I've got on the agenda 6 p.m. I'm going to suggest that we make it to 6:30 p.m. unless anybody has a problem with that. I just had my first COVID vaccine. They were running about 40 minutes late, so we were late starting this meeting. I don't want to cause a late meeting again. And, you know, whatever works for people as we go along. I suspect the next meeting will be a little longer because we'll be going through the draft survey
Perfect.
and presentations of the data from the Census Bureau and other New Hampshire agencies and so forth. So I don't think it's going to be as quick as this one.
Yeah. So motion to adjourn?
Annie,
Yes?
sorry, 1 second. Could we just get from the survey provider the date that they will deliver it to us so that we all have at least, I would advocate for at least 4 to 5 days to be able to review it ahead of that meeting.
Okay. Yep, I will communicate with her and I'll get back to you. I assume that's Mark?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I couldn't see who it was. I'll communicate with her and I'll get back to everyone on when that will be. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
a motion to adjourn? A second?